Good morning, Desert Sands Unified School District community. This is Sean Webb, and I'm your Director of Community Engagement and the Foundation. And you're watching Classroom Conversations. And I've been counting, Chef Mary, we are a lot of fun going to happen today as we got a lot of great visitors from our Student Support Services team that are going to join with us to talk about winter wellness. But before we move on to that, I want to make sure that everybody's aware that this platform is provided to us by the Foundation. Desert Sands Educational Foundation does a great job with providing this so we can relate with our community partners, our schools, as well as give great information about Desert Sands out to the community. I want to go ahead and read the mission statement for the Foundation. The Desert Sands Educational Foundation secures funding and awards money to provide supplemental resources that enrich and enhance student learning in Desert Sands Unified School District. They do that in partnership with public and private sectors. Desert Sands Educational Foundation financially supports creative and innovative programs that enrich and enhance the educational experience in the academics, the arts, the extracurricular activities that engage all students and staff in DSUSD. So without any more from me, let's go ahead. We're going to get Chef Mary on here. We're going to talk a little bit about what's going on with social media. I've got some things to share, and then we'll get our wellness team on with us. But let's go. Good morning, Chef Mary. How are you?
Good morning, and ho, ho, ho. I'm Mrs. Claus today. And something interesting, we always have Christmas with all the trimmings. So for anybody who doesn't really know my last name, it's a perfect name for this time of the year. Doing completely well, just having a great time. It's cold. Everybody's skiing, having a great time.
Oh, well, that's great. You know, I'm glad that the mountain's open and they're able to do that, and you guys are your coworkers are able to work and so forth. So that's good to hear.
Yeah, it is. It's a time when they really need money and food and things for their families. So it's working out great. Yeah, really great.
So as I shared, we've got a full morning this morning. We're going to talk a little bit about our social media. We're going to talk winter wellness, and then we'll wrap up with Spirit Week. Like, as we know, you are full spirit gear now, and I just think that's awesome.
I'm cold too, so it's good.
Okay. But you did tell me it was a little bit of a warm front up there?
Well, it was 40 degrees this morning, so it's probably going to be a heat wave today. Not really.
Okay. I gotcha. Well, let me go ahead. I'm going to pull up the Facebook page here for us. This is what's going on with Desert Sands right now. Last night, Mary, we had the Goldfish Bowl. And the finalists competed in the Goldfish Bowl. And I'll tell you, it was pretty amazing. We gave out, this all came from the superintendent's office, from our LCAP. $12,480 went out to different school sites. So that went to Indio Middle School, Monroe Elementary School, Jackson Elementary School, Shadow Hills High School, and La Quinta High School. And look at this. I got their big checks. So I get to go bring them to them today.
Oh, my gosh. That is great. How good is
I wonder if I can maybe cross this out right here. We can put Desert Sands Educational Foundation on one of them. You think that'll be okay?
Or maybe my name.
I don't know if we can do that, Chef Mary.
Oh my God! That's going to be a Merry Christmas day for you.
Oh no, it was great. You know, during the whole event, we had over 50 people watching live, and I checked this morning on our different platforms. Over 1,000 people have already watched it.
That's incredible. That is it.
And I know that school sites can be ecstatic. And what was really cool, I want to put this up on screen. What was really cool, you can't really see it the best there, but who commented on the video about the Humans of La Quinta, their project, is our Mayor Evans from La Quinta. Said that she's looking forward to working with the city and working with the school and creating this, not just for La Quinta High, but for the entire community. So I think that's just fantastic when, you know, it's all coming together now. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Linda's such a great person. I mean, she's always been a great supporter of our schools.
Oh, I agree 100% with that. Most definitely. But we've been posting about our Spirit Week that's going on. A lot of great things going on that. If I pulled up Twitter, it's just Goldfish Bowl all over the place. Goldfish Bowl, Goldfish Bowl. So you got Indio Middle School that's writing about Jackson, Monroe. So I would show that, but it's you know what? I have to show this. This is really cool. Hold on one second. So like this is Dr. Montano over at Jackson Elementary, where they were funded for $3,000, and their video is so creative. They're asking for 3D printer. And during their video, they had kids acting out as if their crazy teacher was making them make satellites with their 3D printer to make it so people's minds would be warped to buy his beef jerky. So they just got very, very creative with this. And I just love the innovativeness. I love the minds of the kids and the teachers working together on it. Yeah. But let's go ahead, Mary. What else you got going on for the rest of your week before we bring on our wellness team?
Well, we, as friends of family members and other people that are going through this pandemic, I'm kind of interested as a friend or an extended family member, because, we're in this day and age, families are all over the U.S. and you kind of feel that you're kind of helpless, that you're in Iowa and your child is ill in California. And then you can't visit. And so for us personally, you kind of feel lost. Like, what do I say? What do I do? How can I be there when you can't be there? Because we have some friends now that are in the hospital, and it's really scary. So that's kind of interesting to me. And then how our students are going to react when school is out, because we saw that happen when we were in the culinary program, when they were trying to think where they were going to have lunch. Okay,
got it. I gotcha. Well, I'll tell you that I feel like that's a good transition into what we have today. You're dealing with some things at home that normally wouldn't be going on, and this pandemic has brought on some things that a lot of people are going through for the first time. And I think it's just very fitting and perfect that we have our whole show today dedicated to winter wellness. And I'm going to go ahead and bring on the Assistant Superintendent of Student Support Services, Laura Fisher. She's going to share a little bit about what's going on and so forth. Good morning, Mrs. Fisher. How are you? Oh, you have to unmute yourself.
You would think I would know that by now. But good morning, Sean and Chef Mary. How are you guys?
Oh my God, we're great, Laura. How are you? It's good to see you.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm doing great.
Yeah. It's funny, when we were actually in person able to meet and so forth, Laura, I don't think I ever saw you. But now that we're having meetings all the time, I see you daily.
Isn't that great? I know. In our little squares.
Exactly. We all got our tiny little squares. But I want to, you know what? We got a comment here. I always like to highlight our comments here. So one of our teachers over at Palm Desert High School, Mr. K, the ASB advisor, he's watching, and I'm sure he's watching this with his class. I wouldn't be surprised. He joined us, and he makes sure that his leadership class gets all the great information from here. So thank you, Mr. K, for watching.
Thank you.
Yeah. But you know what? I'm going to go ahead and bring on the rest of your team here. I want to just quickly, we'll introduce them, and then we'll get right into our conversation.
Okay.
Good morning, everyone. How are we doing?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Excellent. Maybe just real quick, we'll just go on the box here. Laura, if you could just quickly introduce yourself, and then we'll then go to Michelle, then Perry, and then to Henry.
Okay. Yes. Good morning. I'm Laura Fisher. I'm the Assistant Superintendent of Student Support Services.
My name is Michelle Rowe. I'm a school psychologist, and I'm currently serving the students at La Quinta Middle and Hoover Elementary School.
And I'm Harry Myers. I'm a student assistance program counselor. My office is at Summit Horizon High School, and I also serve Palm Desert High School.
Excellent.
Good morning. My name is Henry Villeda. I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist, and I am assigned to work with the kids at Indio and Thomas Jefferson Middle School.
And, I'm going to put you right on spot here, Henry. I want to congratulate you guys for your Goldfish Bowl earnings last night of $1,480. I think it's fantastic.
Thank you. Very
I think
exciting.
it's amazing that you guys are doing it right along the lines of what we're talking about today.
Thank you.
Yeah, definitely. So I'm going to go ahead and we're going to get right into our conversation here. So I'll say that we all know mental health is always on the mind of people and so forth. Mm-hmm. And Laura, since I have you here, Student Support Services oversees the delivery of school-based social and emotional support services for the students and even their families.
Right.
During this time, can you review how the staff and so forth are connecting with our students and families?
Absolutely. And we all know mental health is so critically linked to a student's academic success. And even, during pre-pandemic times when we were all there in person, our team, and I'll call it our wellness team, which consists of our school psychologist, our mental health therapist, our counselors throughout the district at school sites and SAP that Perry's a part of at the district office, and our behavior specialist. They're all part of this wellness team, and particularly during this time that all our students are in distance learning. It's critical. It's been difficult on everyone with this pandemic. And with our students not being able to be at the school site, it makes it even more difficult. So we have a staff that has picked up and just like we did with the Goldfish Bowl, learned how to do it virtually and are still connecting with students, taking referrals from students and family and community members on anyone that's having a difficult time. And so those referrals are available. The request for assistance is available on our website that anyone can access. Students can refer themselves, as I said, or parents and community members, to make sure that we are addressing the needs of all students and families. We also partner with Solace. So if there's a family in need, Chef Mary was just talking about a family that she's going to be helping. If they're in need of mental health services or even, food or shelter, we have those connections. And this team is an amazing team that has continued to work closely with students and families during this time.
And I do want to point out that your team has done an amazing job with providing resources, and your website is outstanding. So what I did is I put on the ticker at the bottom here all the different resources that are available in the Coachella Valley that are on your website, their contact numbers, as well as I'm excited because I know that we're going to talk a little bit about what health and wellness apps are available too.
Yes.
But I believe Chef Mary has the next question.
Mm-hmm.
Laura, I know that we're all pretty much immune from this global pandemic, and it's as now. I mean, for a long time, I said I never knew anybody, and now I know more people than I want to know that are going through it. So with your students, are they able to call in? Is there a hotline? I know they can go on your web and whatever, or can it come from an outside family member that knows someone's struggling in a confidential manner?
Absolutely. And all of this, as Sean mentioned, is on our website, our wellness website. And there's so many resources for staff, because, I keep mentioning students and families, but our staff, with the work they're continuing to do, they still have, what's going on in their personal lives and just getting and learning this whole distance learning. And so we have all of that. And as we're going into winter break, as we know, even pre-pandemic, holidays are wonderful. We're used to gathering together, as we were talking about earlier, with family and friends and being together. And that was such a special time for holidays. And we can't do that right now. And so how to virtually connect with family and friends is so important. But a lot of people, this isn't the most happiest time for them, the holidays. They can be lonely. It can be a difficult time. So we are, along with what we always have posted on our website, we have developed letters that are going home to all students that we personalize to come from their counselors that reminds them, even during this time, though everyone's out on winter break, here's your connections if you are having issues or if a family member or something, so that those resources are there. We also have a community letter that's actually signed by me that'll be up on our website, again, that reminds them again, you're not alone. If you have, if you're feeling depressed, having issues, here's the resources for you to contact with and be able to. And then our staff, Mr. Bailey, as he always does, will be sending out a winter break letter that's going to include a lot of these same resources along with our employee assistance program, just to make sure that people know, even though a lot of people will be out on winter break, there are connections and resources for them there, and how important that is to maintain that wellness in all physical and mental health.
I just think that's wow, Laura, I think that's fantastic and great to hear that everybody's offered support, not just the students and families, but our own employees too, because this is a time that's like no other.
Yeah.
And I do have a question now for our school psychologist, for Michelle. What do you see during this time of year in your work, and how does COVID-19 impact mental health with what you're seeing and so forth?
So, holidays, it comes with all sorts of emotions. So even in the best year, there are feelings of loneliness, sadness, grief. The holidays are really it's an anniversary. We always reflect back to, what did we do last year? What has changed this year? And I think for everybody, nothing is the same. Everything is different in this crazy year. And so I'm seeing a lot of students expressing. Actually, what really stands out to me is how students will express how they're feeling and always add on but I know it's harder for my mom, or I know it's harder for my friend. And I've just noticed so much empathy from our students on, I'm feeling this way, but I know someone who's feeling worse. And so in helping students, it's a really nice indirect way to talk to them about how can we make ourselves feel better, is addressing maybe what they think someone else is feeling. My mom's really sad. She lost her job. Oh my goodness, that I would understand. That would make that's a very sad thing. They learn how to, in caring for others, they care for themselves. It's just been, I say this with a smile on my face because it's been very bittersweet. Our students are really encountering real life situations at all age levels that when you meet them where they are, they're able to hold that situation, those feelings pretty well at their ability level if you give them the space to do that. So a lot of what I've seen, the big trend is loss, whether it's I didn't get to have my 6th birthday party with my tiara and all my friends, to financial instability, we're not living in the same home anymore. What is this going to look like for me? So addressing those feelings of loss, normalizing that it's okay to feel that way. That makes sense. That's a difficult thing. And validating that you can feel this way and it's okay to ask for help. So COVID-19 overall, I mean, mental health, I know I have a shorter fuse. It's the great amplifier. If, normally you're stressed about the holidays and, the hustle bustle of getting everyone together and having a large gathering, that stress could be replaced with something else now because, you can't meet with these folks. And then for some, this is a big welcome relief, kind of like pump the brakes.
Yeah.
This is my out. What are the holidays really about? What can we recreate? How do we get back to the basics of sharing those wonderful moments, writing a nice note in a card, the gratitude, maybe the tree isn't as tall and, your cousins aren't screaming in the background. What is Christmas really about? Can you look across the table and sit with each other's feelings and talk about what kind of year this has been and how it's not going to be like this forever. So there is a lot of loss, but there's a lot of opportunity out there to create new traditions that might stick with your family for years to come.
No, I agree with you completely on that. I'll tell you, at first I was upset about COVID and everything that's going on and so forth. But I'll tell you, I have a daughter at home and she's 15 months old. And I've used this time as a blessing. I've definitely seen development in my daughter that everybody tells me I would not have witnessed if we were in regular times. Yeah. Like last night, I had a meeting till about 8:30. But the beautiful thing is I'm doing it from home. I'm not having to drive from 8:30 and then get home at 9 o'clock and not see her go to bed. But I'm able to, adapt and so forth. But I also know I don't want to steal the conversation with me talking about my daughter. I'm sorry, I do that too much already. But I know that Perry was going to share with us a little bit about the substance abuse, misuse, and so forth, and what's going on.
Yes, one of my areas of focus with Desert Sands students and their families is substance misuse, and the data is still floating around. There's not a lot of hard data out there yet about the effects of COVID and substance misuse, but at this point, they're showing that over 40 states have, including California, have reported increases in drug-related overdoses and deaths since the start of this pandemic. And obviously, substance misuse is a maladaptive coping behavior, and a lot of students and families misuse this to various substances, from alcohol to marijuana to prescription medications to relieve stress. And it's a real problem for us everywhere in the United States. And like I said, the data is still coming in, but right now it looks like we're looking at about a 20% increase in ER visits, according, due to substance misuse this year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's.
And
Yeah,
I was going to say one of the big ones out there right now is fentanyl, and fentanyl seems to be making its way into just about every drug that students and everyone can access these days, and it's 400 times more powerful than your prescription opioid. And when it's mixed in with something that someone thinks is safe, a lot of times that results in an overdose.
Well, I know, Perry, that with winter break coming and being in the school system at La Quinta High School, we saw how kids were starting to have personality changes about, what am I going to do when I'm, at home and I'm alone, or, who's going to take care of me. So are there resources for these students and families to go to? I know that Laura mentioned something on our website, but is there something particular in your area of expertise that these that they can get help?
There are several, Mary, Chef Mary, and there's a community resource list attached to this webcast, and we also have the website information. There are active links, and there's also a lot of apps out there that we use in a proactive manner to help reduce stress. And but the community resources, as Mrs. Fisher noted at the beginning of this, we have a contract with Solace. Desert Sands Unified School District utilizes them as basically a referral service to connect students and their families to any type of mental health or behavioral health assistance. And that's a wealth of information. They basically act as a concierge. So if there is a problem, any type of problem, you can go to that website and access a community resource. Also, in this community resource list that we've provided, there are hotline numbers for the suicide prevention line, substance use community access referral, which is basically, if there is a serious problem, they're the go-to to get someone who deals with substance misuse as well as unsafe home conditions. Of course, there's Al-Anon, which supplies support to family members for those with addiction and or alcoholism. Alateen, which is aimed at our younger crowd for that same support. And of course, Alcoholics Anonymous, Narcotics Anonymous. These are just a few of the resources that are available. And again, kids love apps. The apps are, we'll talk a little bit more about that later on in this broadcast.
That's awesome. Thank you, Perry.
Excellent. And Mary, I believe you have a question for Henry next, don't you?
You're welcome.
We lost you for a minute, John.
No problem. No, I know Henry's going to be talking about how he works directly with students and families. And what are some ways that families can decrease the stress that they may be experiencing right now?
That's a great question. And I just want to express my gratitude. I'm so grateful to be part of a work family at Desert Sands Unified School District that places so much emphasis in our students and students' family and staff, emotional well-being and mental health. So I'm really grateful for that. And I also want to share that if there are times that either you or a loved one does go through times of sadness, feeling alone, feeling anxious, or feeling depressed, I just want to say that it doesn't mean that you're a weak person or that they're a weak person, and it doesn't mean that there's something inherently wrong with you. It just means that you're human, and it's okay. And so I just want to share some brief wellness and well-being tips that can help you during and your family during this time. And the first thing I want to share, Ms. Laura Fisher touched upon it, is the concept of connectiveness with others. And of course, we are in a worldwide pandemic, but it is an opportunity to kind of think outside of the box and be creative. And so with the means of technology in 2020, we can reach out to our family and friends through phone calls and even virtual meetings. I know it sounds a little impersonal, but it actually goes a long way, being able to see and hear our loved ones and our friends. Another great tip is maybe practicing mindfulness, meditation, and kind of like deep breathing, kind of being in the present. And the cool thing is that there's plenty free YouTube videos that cater to different types of needs. You can type in 15-minute morning mindfulness yoga video, and there's great online YouTube instructors, and that's something that you can practice and with your family during this time of the year, and especially during the holidays. Something that sounds so simple, but actually physically going outside. Again, we have some strict social, practicing safe social distancing, but we can still go outside, enjoy this great Coachella Valley winter weather, and doing physical activities, going on hikes, walking around your neighborhood, riding your bicycle. And something that I recently enjoy, I bought a Frisbee at Walmart. I think it cost like $3. And it's so much fun to play Frisbee with your family members. Something really important to practice during this holiday season, during this COVID time, is limit your social media news, what you read, what you see on the phone and the radio. And by limiting that, it also helps us to be in a better state of mental health and well-being. And Ms. Michelle kind of touched about, this is a great opportunity to create new family and individual traditions. And so we talked about gratitude. So one way that can help is, and doesn't cost any money, is teaching our family, our kids, how to write letters and sending it to the mail, and sending out letters to our seniors, our elderly, and maybe our military personnel serving our country. That's a great opportunity to express our gratitude and think about others. Also, that might not cost a lot of money, is creating care packages and just dropping off at the doorstep of our family and our friends, our neighbors, doing something small, but it can mean something big for them.
I'm not sure if you've caught any of our most recent episodes, but I'll tell you, Chef Mary has been talking about each and every one of those things that she's been doing personally with her close-knit family and her community up in Big Bear. And I just got to say that, Chef Mary, you inspire me to do these types of things too. And thank you for continuously doing that.
Well, it's fun. And Henry, and you tapped on a few things that I just recently went in for a physical, and I talked with my doctor about, this anxiety, because you tend to think you're okay. And then you really realize that you do have anxiety. And she said it's just, it's a condition where you can't control your environment, and you have to find something to focus back in on. And I agree with you. Like, I do senior chair yoga every morning, and that 15 minutes, it centers you and it gives you your breathing. And so some of my older friends who have grandchildren and children, we're all doing that because it makes us kind of settle down so that we can talk to them and not overreact. Because I think as a grandparent, we tend to overreact with our children being at home, and we tend to be a little critical because we don't know what's going on. But being outside and doing those things are, invaluable. And there's so many things on YouTube from, like you said, because I watch a lot of them, and they're incredibly valuable. And you can do it in your house, in your chair.
Yes. Yes. And like you said, it only takes about 10 or 15 minutes to make all the difference.
True.
Yeah, and that's so true, Henry, because my parents, all my family's back in Oklahoma and Texas, and both of my parents are in a senior living facility. My dad, unfortunately, has Alzheimer's and is memory care, but my mom is in assisted living. And Chef Mary, when you were mentioning it, I have one of those portals at home. So every day, whether it's when I get home from work, it's a little later there, but Mom and I talk, and we do our chair yoga. She's mobile, but not as much to do that. And it helps her, it calms her. You know, but being in a senior living facility, they've been quarantined for a long time, and she can't even get out of her apartment. And the anxiety that goes with that is so hard. But those few minutes, and every day, I always want to touch base with both of them. And being able to do something like that makes a world of difference.
Yeah, it does make you, they make you realize you realize what your body's doing. In the beginning, I didn't understand that. And then they say, now feel your body now. And you feel energized, you feel positive, your mind is clear. You've actually embraced who you are. And then you get up and you feel great for the whole day. And I think with the TikTok with our young people, I think that's really helping them with the dancing and the creativity and the making the costumes and the mask. And I have a lot of little kids that are in our neighborhood, and you can see them out there doing that. And so it's kind of fun to watch them. It's too much energy for me, but I sure like watching what they do.
Oh, you're muted.
Figure I would learn not to do that. But one of the things I wear is a Fitbit, and it gives me a reminder. It gives me 2 reminders every hour. One, to get up and make sure I do at least 250 steps. And another reminder is every couple of hours to relax. And you can set it to 2 minutes up to 7 minutes. And during that time, it just gives nice little vibrations that go throughout. And those little things throughout the day, because I know I'm going like this all the time. And when I go home, I'm even running even more around with my daughter. I need those types of things during the day. And I'm sorry, Mr. Bailey, if you're watching, yes, I do take a couple minutes during the day or just sit and relax, but it's definitely needed.
It's okay. We all need that, Sean.
Okay. You know what? I got it from the assistant superintendent. We're good to go there. Perfect.
Everybody needs to do that. Okay.
Yeah, definitely. Now, Perry, I know that you briefly talked about community resources. Is there anything else that you want to share in regards to that?
Yes, we also have it attached to this broadcast list of apps that are available out there for mental health, and the primary focus on these is being proactive and preventative, just like everyone else has been talking about. And again, these are just a tip of the, not even a tip of the iceberg. There are thousands of these out there. The ones that we've provided are have been researched by our evidence-based. They're all free, and they're available in Spanish and English. You know, of course, we have the Safe House app, which again, we've talked about Safe House's role in providing you know, a safe place for adolescents to vent, and a lot of this is available via text, so that they don't actually have to call anyone if they don't want to. And it's important to note also that Safe House will, if there's a dangerous situation where an adolescent doesn't feel safe in their environment, all they have to do is get on the bus and tell the bus driver that they're going to Safe House, and that's a free ride. They will take them they'll take them to the Safe House, and with no questions asked. So,
it's great that you guys have done all this research.
We have a lot of these apps. Well, I think it's important that, because there's a lot of junk apps out there too, and so that we provide things that have been researched and shown as being beneficial scientifically. So that's like I said, that's what's listed here. Again, like Henry touched on, you can go to YouTube or Facebook and find thousands of different applications for mindfulness, meditation, guided imagery, controlled breathing, and a lot of these, such as Breathe to Relax, which is one of the apps we've listed on here. You can do this on your own or in conjunction with therapy, with a therapist if you are in therapy at the moment. And that focuses on breathing, simple exercises in controlled breathing which scientifically has shown us that it lowers heart rate and pulse, and basically allows you to feel a sense of control about what's going on in your life.
It definitely makes
and
Okay.
these are important little things that we can do proactively to feel in more control. So, and again, there are various applications here. One is provided by UCLA. It's a mindful app, and it's basically a introduction to mindfulness meditation. And again, you don't have to do this sitting in a lotus position in your bedroom if you want to, but it does focus on reducing and controlling sometimes what we can control in this kind of crazy situation that we're in right now, where we don't feel a lot of control. And also, I want to throw in the lowest tech app I know, and that is a journal. If you have access to a notebook and a pen, journaling I've found over the years to be beneficial to everyone. And it allows you to put what you're experiencing, your thoughts down on paper, and to be able to reflect on that down the road when the situation has changed a little bit. And it doesn't cost anything, except for the notebook, I guess. But
so I'm going to throw this in real quick with Perry. I think we need to also touch on healthy eating and hydrating, because being home, it's really easy to grab a candy bar or junk food, and I'm guilty of that after being assessed 14 pounds since March. She told me to divorce myself from the refrigerator. But, we tend to just grab things because we're not doing anything. We're sitting around, we're having happy hour earlier and earlier during the day. And I think in some of these issues is making good food and making sure you're drinking lots of water. And to add to Michelle, one of my friends who was recently gone through a big bout with cancer, no one ever asked, "How are you?" She said she said, "Just ask me, how am I? And let me tell you. And then you are okay with the answer." But we're afraid of that answer, I think.
Yeah.
And I think with some of these issues here, just how are you doing? And how are things at your house? And how is your mom? How is your grandmother who's worrying about you? Lets them have that opportunity to let you know, so you know how to deal with it. Because I think we sometimes don't want to know those answers.
And that's a really great point. I'm glad you brought that up, because it's okay to hear how someone's doing without having to fix it for them.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
So
it's
true.
The whole process of just listening, right? Just that old thing, talking to somebody on the phone nowadays it doesn't happen all the time, but I actually make phone calls on purpose because I want to hear somebody, and I want somebody, and I'm sure they want to be listened to as well.
Yeah,
most definitely. So, Chef Mary, this has been one of our most viewed episodes, I want to say, of 2020. And I want to thank Mrs. Fisher and your team and Sue Ann Block for arranging this. This is all valuable information, and I know that we're going to make this available on our website. I do want to give one last chance for each and every one of you to say one last thing to our community before we close out 2020 and we head into our winter break and we jump into 2021 with smiles. So why don't we go? We'll start off with ladies first, right next to me. Michelle, what would you like to say to our community watching?
I want everyone to know that you are deserving of help. There are probably people that are going through a harder time, but that doesn't mean you're not going through a hard time. So really work to seek the help you need and find what you can do when it feels like everything's out of control. What can you do to make your holidays shine just a little brighter?
I love that. And Laura?
And, I want to thank the wellness team and the representatives with Henry and Michelle and Perry have done an excellent job, and the whole team works so hard. And Michelle is right. I wish everyone a happy holiday, and take the time. This has been so crazy. Take the true time to have some peace and blessings, and remember your family and friends, and reach out and take care of yourself, both physically and mentally.
I agree completely. And Perry, if you'd like to say something to our community watching, say goodbye.
Yes, I'd like to part with simply saying that sometimes it's okay to not be okay, and that you're not alone, and the fact that that we all, I've spent the past couple of decades trying to destigmatize, mental health helping efforts, and it's okay. It's okay to ask for help. It's okay to seek help proactively. And I want to wish everyone on this team and throughout Desert Sands Unified School District happy holidays. And thank you for this opportunity to spread the love.
Thank you, Perry.
Thank you, Perry. And Henry, I was going to say, you get the next 2 weeks off, but the Goldfish challenged your team. You guys got to get that moving fast with the $1,480. So you may not have as much time off as you think.
We
but,
do.
What would you like to say to our community watching?
Well, I just Mr. Roger thought that all of you are special and we care about you guys. And we're here for you, even though not physically, but we're here for you guys. And something that I want to work on for the following year is to be more intentional with myself, with my actions, and with others.
Thank you guys for joining us. Chef Mary, would you like to say goodbye to our friends before we continue on here?
I will. And it was great having you on. And here's a little hint that I've done with walking. I count every step. And first I walked 50 steps, and then I would have a milestone where the tree was, or I'd walk to the car. And I find that if you're counting and walking, you're breathing better and you're not thinking about walking. And the other day it was like 450 steps. And I'm just like going, oh my gosh. So I got all the kids to do that. So we count silently. And it's amazing. You can go, okay, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, however fast you walk. So it's a good way to get out and to have a little contest. How many steps did you walk today? And you're outdoors.
We all have different things that we need to do to get through the times. Yeah. Well, once again, Mrs. Fisher, thank you very much. Happy holidays to you and your team. And thank you for joining us again. We'll see you later.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Well, Chef Mary, you're not getting to see, you get to meet all the big wigs with the cabinet members. Now you're meeting all the big wigs in the student support services.
I know. It's awesome. It's just refreshing to know, that this information is available to everybody. I mean, even to friends of students and families, because we do care and we are there, but we're not in the school system. We're kind of not on the inside of the hub of this thing. So to know how we can interface with these people and just be there, just be a support person, even though we don't have a child in school. I think that's important.
Definitely. And I want to go ahead and put it up on screen again. So they did an amazing job with sending me all of the different community resources that are available. These are not all of them that they sent to me, but I've been having it go through on the bottom and the ticker here as well. But these are all the community resources that we're recommending through Desert Sands and so forth. Some of them, you can get the complete list on our website through dsusd.us. You just hit the wellness on the quick tab there. And I know that Jan Diaz is going to be posting this video there as well. And also, what I thought was really awesome, there's so many apps out there, Mary, and you never know which app is what. And you never know what's reputable. But what I love is that our team here at Desert Sands has gone through and reviewed each of these. So these are apps that you can put right on your phone and that are going to assist and help you with things. Everybody has their phone by them, right? And there's no reason they can just click a video. Like what Henry's talking about with going to YouTube, you can click a video. Well, I'm sure with some of these apps, the videos are right there. You don't have to search for anything, right? Those things are ready, available, and they're free to us too. So I just think it's fantastic that our team has done all the, they've done the legwork that a lot of people don't want to do. So I think it's fantastic. They're there to help, and just great information.
Yeah, and I think those apps give them a new face and a new voice to listen to and look at. And not be on our public media all the time where you see the same people with the same information. And this gives you sort of an insight, because they all have some insight that they share with you, which to me is invaluable. You pick up a few things here and there, things that you don't normally think of.
And I do want to point out, so I pointed out earlier that Mr. K was watching us from Palm Desert High School, and he put up something earlier that I want to make sure that I have this up here and that everybody's aware. it's not only marginal students that are struggling emotionally, it's everybody that's struggling right now. A lot of times people will fall into that stereotype that it's just, students with low socioeconomic status, students that don't have a lot, students that may not be of the right origin and so forth. No, it's affecting everyone. And Mr. K's talking as from a teacher from Palm Desert High. He sees students of all different types at Palm Desert High, and it's definitely happening to everyone. And I think it's fantastic that we have this available for our families and so forth.
Well, Sean, I see that, I work with a lot of people that have little kids, and it's a really close family at Bear Mountain Resorts. We all know each other. We see each other all the time, and their children that were A students are struggling.
Yeah.
So he has a very good point that, it's just not your students that were always struggling. Now we're having our other students that, some of it isn't working for them. They're not paying attention. So it is affecting them, and now it's affecting the parents. And even when we ask about how they're doing, we feel bad that what can we do? How can we help? So he's got a great point. I'm glad he brought that up.
Yeah, I'm glad he brought it up too. But I do want to point out to everybody who's watching that we will take the next 2 weeks off. Chef Mary and I are going to, just like we've been talking here, we're going to sit back and relax. You'll next see us on Classroom Conversations on January 5th, 2021, when we'll have episode 41, Mary. That'll be a lot of fun.
Oh my God.
Yeah, but I do want to remind everyone, we do have this going on here, Dare to Wear Cold Gear. So I know you may complain, Mary, that I'm not geared up, but I want to share with everyone that I'm actually brought my jacket, and in the desert, this is all you need for cold gear. This is all you need. It's perfect. So I am geared up for cold gear today.
I have my hat. I was a day early.
There we go. There we go. And I'm not sure if I'm going to be allowed to do this tomorrow, but tomorrow is Dare to Wear Pajamas. I do have to report to the office. I'm not sure if I'm really allowed to wear my pajamas, but we'll see what goes on from there.
Well, you always wear those pajama, like flannel things that the guys all wear. Like after you get off work, you have like comfy slacks or whatever they call them.
You know what? I got some yoga pants at home. Maybe I'll just wear those. Maybe I've never gotten to show up to work like that since I was a coach of football and so forth. But no, it's you know what? I'll tell you what. Being at the district office, it's with everything going on, I don't see as many people as I normally do. But it is fun to interact with people like this, and I love that we're doing these DSUSD December Dare Days. Like tomorrow is Dare to tell someone what you admire about them. And Mary, I'm going to do this right now. I admire you. I admire your heart. I admire what you do for our community, and I admire our friendship. So thank you.
Well, Sean, if I hadn't met you years and years ago, I would have never had this opportunity. I'm so grateful that you trusted me with the culinary program. I'm really grateful to Bear Mountain that they took this old lady and realized that I had a value and I have a really important job. And I do the same thing as every day when I'm working with my staff. I thank them for what they're doing. I appreciate they made my job easier because it does. I mean, you have to build that relationship with people that you trust, that I know if I had something to do with, I could come to you.
Yes.
And for me, I'm lucky because I have this great name. I have Merry Trimmins. So I'm Merry Christmas with all the Trimmins. So it's almost like a little a heritage thing. We always sign our cards from all the trimmings.
There we go. I love it.
So I know you're going to have a great holiday with Brooklyn. I mean, it's such a cute age. Those little dancing legs. That was too funny.
No, it'll definitely be a lot of fun. But Chef Mary, I'll catch you up in your backstage here in a second.
Okay.
And, we'll see you later.
Yeah. Have a happy holiday, everybody.
So as I'm sharing, we'll be back with you in January of 2021 on January 5th with our next episode of Classroom Conversation, following up with the 7th. You guys have a great holiday. Take some time, rest up, relax. And I know I'm going to definitely do the same. But when you're out, make sure you wear your mask and wash your hands. You guys have a great day. We had the opportunity to submit a video to KMIR, and I want to make sure I share that with all of you guys here. Have a good one.